Let me ask you a question. Let's say you have a business, right? And it's a business where there's a major sales event, a major trade event happening every 4 years, right? And so you go to your first trade event, and people just swarm you. Your business is like everyone wants your product, what you're selling, because it's the best thing in the market, and nobody wants to take no for an answer. And they're lining up around the whole block, and the whole trade event is just focused on you because you have the darling product of the trade event. Now, let's say it's so bad in terms of demand that you have to basically tell people, okay, I'm sorry, you can't line up here because the line is already too big, and so that happens in that trade event, and then that trade event invites you back the next time with your business. Tell me, what are you going to have changed about your business? What are you going to have learned about your business in order to prevent the same shit show from happening in 4 years' time, the second time you go to this trade event? And the reason why I'm asking you this question is because right now, Coinbase is making a fool of itself, right? What's going on is Coinbase, since the last bull run, it went down every few days in the last bull run. And now it's going down again. It just conveniently this time is going down only when there's a new all-time high approaching, right? Or actually hit. Today we hit $70,000. Coinbase went down again, right? And it keeps happening. It's happened 3 times now since, 3 times? Yeah, whatever. 3 or 4 times since in the last couple weeks. And what this tells me is that there's one of two things happening here. And again, this is pure speculation, but this is what it feels like to me. It feels like the price of Bitcoin is running up. It feels like the OTC desks are running dry. And then Coinbase is coming in and their bull market prevention team is coming in and saying, okay, boop, stop the engine for a second. And when that happens, as soon as that engine goes down, there's trade management algorithms that are starting to dump Bitcoin into the market because they know Coinbase goes down, the price of Bitcoin goes down, so they start dumping. Retail can't buy. Right? And then eventually, once the OTC desk is full up with Bitcoin that was just flushed onto the market, the bull market prevention team comes back and turns the engine back on and says, hey, we're working again. Right? Now, make it make sense to me that you've had 4 years to plan for this event. It's not like you don't know that the halving is coming. Right? So it's like one of two things here. It's either very sinister or it's absolutely fucking stupid. Either one is bad. But those are the only two things that I can think of. And again, it's speculation, but tell me, you've had 4 years, Coinbase, to prepare for this. You've had 4 years to hire engineers to prepare for this instead of selling shit coins. You've had 4 years to sit there and go, okay, our service went down and we want to be the preeminent broker, especially now that we're getting ETFs and everyone else trying to lean on our credibility. Surely we don't want our systems to go down. Surely we don't want people to go, Coinbase is incompetent. Surely we shouldn't want that, right? And yet that's what's happening. So it tells me there's something either sinister going on in my conspiratorial brain. There's something either sinister going on, or Coinbase is just full of a bunch of morons, which I don't believe that, right? I've said this for a while. I do not believe that Coinbase is full of a bunch of morons. So, in my conspiratorial speculation hat on, I think that there is something happening here because you cannot have the price of Bitcoin go up, break a new all-time high, the OTC desks start running thin, suddenly the bull market prevention team runs in, clicks the button to turn off the retail engine. And that's another question. Why is it that institutions can keep buying with Coinbase? Why is it only retail that can't buy? Right? It's not, we don't know that the ETFs can't still buy, right? We as far as everything I know, it seems like the OTC desk and the institutional part of Coinbase is functioning correctly. So why is it that you and I can't buy, but the institutions can continue to buy? Surely we're at a period where these ETFs are driving $354 million of net inflows yesterday. $354 million of daily demand. Surely the institutional flow, the engine in the institutional flow is 10 times higher than retail. Surely, if anything was going to go down, it would be the institutional engine, not the retail engine, because you're just dealing with much more flow there. And surely, if you were a company that was competent, you would say, okay, we've got this institutional arm completely nailed down. What can we learn from there and move it over to our retail side so this doesn't happen? Surely that's what you would be doing, right? Except here's the problem. The incentives line up perfectly for this to be sinister. The incentives line up perfectly for this to be sinister. And that's what's intriguing about it. I don't know whether it's sinister or not, but certainly the incentives are there. You get Bitcoin for your clients. For your biggest clients, you get Bitcoin at low prices. You get to fill up your OTC desk from retail and trading algorithms that are dumping into the market when they shouldn't be. And you get to make, again, your biggest clients happy. And let's not get it messed up. Retail is no longer Coinbase's biggest client. Coinbase's biggest client are the ETFs. That's the biggest client. So do you think that engine is ever going to turn off? I don't. I don't think that engine is ever going to turn off. I think what's happening here is that they're utilizing media, they're utilizing their knowledge of how the market's going to react to a Coinbase shutdown, and they're basically utilizing that to drive the price down, fill up the OTC desks, and make their clients happy. It doesn't sound reasonable to me that the institutional engine, which is probably 10 times higher, 10 times more flow than the retail engine, is still functioning, and yet the retail part is shut down. That does not make any sense to me whatsoever. This is part of the SWAT unit inside of Coinbase called the Bull Market Prevention Team, right? The Bull Market Prevention Squad. They are utilizing these price suppression tactics, again, all speculation, to make sure that their OTC desk is full, to make sure that retail lets go of some of their Bitcoin so it can flush into the ETFs before there is a moment where the demand is just completely uncontrollable. They're trying to pivot this Bitcoin smoothly, softly, at the right price before this demand goes to the next level, and demand will go to the next level. Trust me, it is coming. The fact that they have to keep doing this every time we break an all-time high when the retail demand is 10 times lower than the institutional demand tells me that they're shitting themselves at this point, right? They're trying to keep the OTC desk as full as possible, and this will only last a while because people are not just going to keep selling, right? So right now, the best thing you can do to screw Coinbase's efforts is not sell. Right? No matter what happens, just do not sell. And therefore, Coinbase will drive the price down, trading algos will dump into the market, and eventually the trading algos will run out of Bitcoin, and that's it. Right? That's the game over. At some point, Coinbase is going to have to face the music. That point might not be right now, but at some point they're going to have to face the music. And the best thing that you can do to prevent that is just do not sell Bitcoin. Now, there is one thing that can happen to this market that, for me, in my perspective, is more bullish than the ETFs, right? The ETFs are the news for the next 10 years. But from a financial engineering point of view, from a financial markets point of view, there's one thing that's coming up that's going to be even more bullish than the Bitcoin ETFs from my perspective. And I'm going to do a video on that and release it in the next day or two. I might actually do it tomorrow. Saturday is a good day to do a video on this topic. So please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that. And again, despite all of Coinbase's BS here, there are always only 3 rules to Bitcoin. Step number 1, you buy Bitcoin. Step number 2, you shut the fuck up. And step number 3, you get fabulously wealthy.